What our experts have devised is a program that, with North Korean cooperation, with full disclosure of all of their chemical and biological nuclear programs, ballistic missile sites.
That hasn't happened yet?
It has not. We can get, physically, we would be able to dismantle the overwhelming bulk of their programs within a year.
That, of course, is National Security Advisor John Bolton, filling in some new details in the plan for the North Korean regime to finally shut down its nuclear program. Mr. Bolton saying the Trump administration is fully aware of Pyongyang's history of reneging on its promises, but he brushes aside some recent reports that the regime is secretly plotting to expand its nuclear capabilities and not scrap them. This comes amid news that a second summit could be in the works. Round two of the president sitting down again with dictator Kim Jong-un could come this September during the annual United Nations General Assembly meeting here in New York. General Jack Keane joins us, retired four-star general chairman of the Institute for the Study of War, also a Fox News senior strategic analyst. You know, General, Secretary of State Pompeo meeting with the president at this hour in the White House. He'll be making his third trip to Pyongyang, and we're told he's taking a list. Schedule to declare the weapons, come clean with their production facilities. What are the chances, you think, that the regime will actually cooperate?
Well, I don't think we know for sure, but I suspect the administration is, you know, after a little bit less than a month since the summit, and given the preliminary meetings they had before the summit, I think they've got some kind of an inkling on where Kim Jong-un truly is. And I mean, I think it's kind of disappointing that we've had our intelligence agencies leak to the media over the weekend, you know, some disclosures that they may be expanding their capability as opposed to decreasing it. In of itself, that's not necessarily evidence that they don't intend to eliminate their capability in the future.
Well, why would you say that? Because if they're increasing it, it seems that they would be going back against everything that they allegedly pledged during the summit.
Well, I'm not looking for excuses for the Kim Jong-un regime, but it could have been something that clearly was in the works. I mean, if you're going to add facilities to a building, like a water cooling facility to a plutonium fuel source capability, that was in the planning months and months ago. You just don't, you know, decide to build a new building over the weekend and then stand it up. So I think we can make a little too much about this, but I'm profoundly disappointed that we got intel services leaking to the media about stuff that they should just be talking to the administration about. The meeting you're suggesting with Secretary of State Pompeo and the president certainly happens on a routine basis. Here's what's in front of the administration. I mean, for a fact, they have asked the Kim Jong-un regime, tell us where all of your nuclear, chemical, and biological sites are, research facilities, test facilities, storage facilities, fuel facilities, etc., and also where all your ballistic missile facilities are, test, research, actual location of the missiles themselves.
Yeah, and they haven't come up with the list yet. I mean, it takes time. You think they actually will provide that list?
I don't know what they've come up with. All we can do is report what's happening in the media. I suspect they have not, and I think it would take a matter of weeks to do that. And as a result of it, I think we're on a showdown with them. I think we'll know in a matter of weeks whether Kim Jong-un was serious when he talked to the president about absolutely making a strategic policy change and moving towards a different kind of nation than what they've had, you know,
and if
since
there is,
the end of the
as you
Korean
say,
War.
if there's a showdown, what does that mean? What does the administration do if Pompeo comes back from Pyongyang, you know, empty-handed?
Well, if he knows that these guys are not serious and they're really gaming us, the president's not going to put up with that. And he's already put his cards on the table. Here's what they would do. Number one, they would go increase sanctions on North Korea. Go after the Chinese, get their agreement to increase sanctions, if not sanction the Chinese, and we've obviously been playing tough with the Chinese over trade imbalances anyway. Go after Russia. We got a meeting coming up with them and make sure they close the back door to them. And then start making military preparations in the theater. And what I mean by
that would be a message to Kim Jong-un, certainly. Here's John Bolton in March, the last interview he did with us here on Fox News Channel. I want to see if you think this is what Kim Jong-un will do. This was his standard. Let's take a listen.
The president says, okay, we'll treat this like a Libya situation. Tell us what ports our ships should sail into, what airports our cargo planes should land at, where our technicians should go to help dismantle your nuclear weapons and your ballistic missiles, what trucks we're going to use to move them to the cargo planes and the freighters, and we'll show you where they end up in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, right next to the Libyan nuclear weapons program. That's talking about denuclearization.
So absent that, you think there is a showdown?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because, you know, this administration, and Ambassador Bolton said it on the talk shows this weekend, I mean, they're very clear-eyed about who this guy is and what their past has been. And, you know, so they're not going to play games with them. They're going to give him certainly some time to make the strategic shift that he has to make, to convince the hardliners that he's got in his regime. And that's one of the reasons why he fired all of his top generals and put younger guys in there, probably a little bit more loyal to him, which is a positive sign. But if this isn't going to happen and Kim Jong-un can't pull it off because, you know, he feels he's going to be threatened from within,
All right, Jim,
then we'll foreclose on him.
Yeah. All right. As the Ambassador Bolton said in the interview, how do you know when the North Koreans are lying? He says when they open their mouths. Thank you, General. Sandra?